I watched Dogville the other day. It's a film by Lars Von Trier. I hope I'm saying that right. And the sum up, it's about a young girl called Grace who ends up in this town called Dogville after running away from the mob, and she basically seeks protection from this town. It was an alright film, but I don't know, I just had a few problems with it, and it's the main reason I'm doing a review on a film that's from 2003 and not enjoying what I watched is because there's actually not a lot on Dogville. I even looked on YouTube, there's only one review on Dogville, most of it's just trailers. So I thought I would add something to this film. The film itself is quite good. I mean, plot-wise, and some of the supporting cast is quite good, and the characters' motivations sometimes are a little bit believable. But I have one massive problem with it. It feels like I'm watching a stage play. And, I mean, there's no locations. There's hardly any mise en scene, there's just a few props and costumes. And all you get for setting is literally what looks like it's a stage, little chalk drawings and of like roads and houses with like little names to say where you are. There's even a drawing of a dog, which appears at the end of the film as a real dog. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. I think what Lars Von Trier was trying to do with this was say you don't need all this stuff to make a good film. But it's just like, you can't, it gets a little ridiculous when if I wanted to watch a stage play, I'd pay money to see a stage play. I wouldn't watch this all the time. Another problem I had with it was Nicole Kidman in it. She plays the main character, Grace. The problem with her is, I don't know if the setting of the film kind of hampered her performance, but she didn't act very well in it. I'm going to say a slight spoiler right now. She gets raped in it a few times. And I'm going to come on the first two rape scenes. The first one, she doesn't really fight off. It just feels very stunted, like she wasn't expecting it at all, like she had just been told that day, by the way, this is a rape scene. It didn't feel real to me. And the second one, it's just, she actually looks like in herself she's gearing up on the whole film. It's just ridiculous. I did have a little problem with a few supporting cast members, because, again, I think it was the same thing with the setting. They just felt like they were acting on the stage, and some of it was very over-exaggerated, and it felt a little ridiculous. It felt like I had wasted about 3 hours of my life on this film for no good reason. However, I will say that Paul Bettany, who plays like the main male lead, he also plays Jarvis in Iron Man. In fact, he plays it really. He's really good in this. I mean, I know he's quite good as Jarvis, but it kind of sounds a bit like a computer in Jarvis. So, you know, he doesn't really do much anyway. But in this, it's the first film I've really seen him acting, as far as I know of. And he's really good in it. And it also has Lauren Bacall in it. She's quite good, and she was quite old at the time when she did this and past her prime, but she was really good. And the last person I'd say who was really good in this was Stellan Skarsgård, who is in a lot, maybe even all of Lars Von Trier's films. I haven't seen them all, but the ones I've seen, he's in, basically. So, out of all the cast, those are the 3 people I liked. That's quite bad in my opinion, actually. Do you not like all the cast of the film? Just like hate 1 or 2 characters? I don't know. Seems a bit like they're trying a little too hard for me to hate the film. In each of these films, Lars Von Trier is trying to say something about humanity. And in this film, he's trying to say that evil can happen anywhere, depending on the situation. There are some people who interpret it like this, some people see it as anti-American. I don't understand how it's anti-American, to be honest. But the question I've asked myself over the last few days, would I recommend it? Not really. I wouldn't say it's a bad film, but I just don't think I can recommend it to anyone. I mean, even I felt I was wasting my time watching this. And all that kept me going through is that I tried to watch this film before, and I failed. And I decided to try again, and I just decided to get through it. Just one of those films I felt like I had to get through. And I'm proud of myself for doing it, but I would not recommend anyone else seeing this film. So, overall, I will give this film an 8 out of 15. The plot was good, the idea behind it was quite a good one and interesting, but it's just that Nicole Kidman's performance wasn't great, and to be honest, when I'm watching a film, I don't want to feel like I'm watching a stage play. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe I've persuaded you to watch this film or dissuaded you from watching it. Tell me in the comments what you think of the film, if you totally disagree with what I've just said. Or tell me what you think about Lars Von Trier. And if you like this video, please subscribe.